Hi everybody, and thanks for joining me today. So yay, I'm back. Thank you for your patience while we did our renovations. I'm not totally done yet, but I have got my living room back, at least temporarily. So I figured I would set up and make a session for you all. I'm hoping to be back on track from now on, but there may be another interruption or so when we paint the living room. We'll see. My husband has to do a bunch of drywall and stuff first. And then, yeah, obviously, I will no longer have my spot while we're painting because we definitely don't want paint on the project. That would be very bad. But yeah, before that, we had moved everything out of the bedrooms. And so our living room was full. Our son was sleeping there, and we had like bookcases and dressers and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. We had the guest room, but it wasn't big enough to put stuff in. It's pretty much just big enough for like the bed and a couple end tables. So yeah, I am very happy that we are back in our own bed again because well, for one thing, because our guest room is so small, there isn't room on either side of the bed. So I had to climb over him every time I wanted to get up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. So he said, well, we could sleep on the other sides. I say, yeah, that's not happening after, 22 years. There's no way I can sleep with you on the other side. That would just feel so wrong. So, and we couldn't really sleep with our heads at the other end of the bed because then the night tables would have been out of reach, to put your glasses and your phone and your water bottle and that kind of stuff on. Yeah, so yeah, so I had to sort of wake up more when I needed to get up in the middle of the night to make sure I didn't accidentally step on him or trip over him or anything. Oh. So yeah, I am very glad that we are back in our room. The carpets are in. We did all the painting and drywall, so that's done. So that half is finished. That was sort of the worst, when you can't even be in your own bedroom. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, and told our son he could pick the color for his bedroom, so he picked this green that's like, somebody said it's a good Minecraft green, which I totally didn't even notice until they mentioned it, but it is. Or somebody said it's the color of the pipes in the, Mario Brothers games, which, yeah, again, it kind of fits. So I'm like, well, I guess they're both made by Nintendo, right? So, yeah. Yeah, his was the hardest. My husband actually had to do 3 coats to make sure the wall was totally covered. Well, and that room used to be blue, so it needed 2 coats of primer and then 3 coats of, the green paint to make sure nothing was showing through. So that room took the longest, but it's done now. Woohoo! Yeah, it was blue when we moved in. I was pregnant when we moved in the house, so we had friends saying, oh, it's blue, are you trying to tell us something? Well, we didn't know whether we were having a boy or a girl, so yeah, I said, no, it's just, that's what the previous owners painted it, and we're too lazy to paint, so. But yeah, everything's nice and organized now. My husband put up a bunch of shelving so all the stuffed animals can go up on the shelves in the 2 rooms, his bedroom and the playroom. Yeah, I told him, you're lucky. When I was a kid, we didn't get more than 1 room. We got our bedroom, and sometimes we shared. So, yeah. But yeah, so now his playroom, we set up a big desk in there for his computer. And my husband even hooked it up to his stereo, so now he gets even better sound. Yeah, I traded desks because I had a bigger desk in my office downstairs, but I really don't use it that much anymore because I got it back when I had only a desktop computer. So, you know, you need a desk, but now I have a laptop. So I basically don't really use that desk anymore. So yeah, I swapped it with my son's, which was smaller, and gave him the bigger one. It just makes more sense. They gave him my old office chair because, again, I don't really use that anymore. I sit on the couch when I'm using my laptop, so yeah. But yeah, it was quite the thing when we ripped up the old carpets. 2 of the bedrooms had linoleum underneath, and my husband sent samples of it off to a lab to test for asbestos, and they came back as 6% asbestos. So not as bad as some, but still, you don't want to be disturbing that, right? And getting it professionally removed would be super expensive, like more than the rest of the renovations combined. So we just went, okay, I guess we're putting the carpet over it, just like they did, the previous people did. So yeah, and somebody said, oh, you know, like the lino doesn't look bad, maybe just keep it, but it had slash marks all over it because my husband said he thinks when they were putting in the carpet, they probably just cut it directly on top. And yeah, so it was no good. Although it did make it for easier painting then, yeah, because we ripped out the old carpets. My husband did the drywall, we did the painting. So it's kind of nice you didn't have to worry about getting paint on the floor, right? Yeah, the living room will be a little trickier. We're going to have to be more careful about it because it's hardwood and we don't want to be getting paint all over it, obviously. Okay, let's see. So I can still get a little bit more out of this. So I'm going to park it. So yeah, not doing diagonal. I'm just sort of, as I was before, stitching sort of each little diamond shape here as it comes. But yeah, I didn't get to stitch for a while, so I was going through the withdrawals there. Yeah, it just kind of, it's like, I don't know what to do with myself. I have all this energy, end up just fidgeting a lot because yeah, there was no stitching to put it into. I did knit a bit, but like I've said before, I can't knit for sustained periods like I used to. Yeah. I guess there's more movement and more repetitive movement that, yeah, I have to be careful. So I sort of knit a row of lace here and there kind of thing. Kind of try to do 1 per day. And I'm working on that log cabin quilt style for my father-in-law slowly. Yeah, so I decided it's going to be 30 squares. Makes a decent size. And I think I've completed 3. Yeah. And I've started on the 4th. So, yeah. Okay, 3:15. Yeah, and as usual, we discovered like so much of the house is not completely square. Yeah, so that made for some fun adjustments. Well, I mean, no house really is, I think, right? Yeah, there's always variations in the materials and the wood and stuff that, yeah, things look square, but if you actually measure them, they generally aren't perfect. Yeah, my husband had to trim the bedroom doors quite a bit because the new carpet is a lot thicker than the old one. So it's actually kind of almost weird to step on it. It's so thick and plush. I'm not used to it. But yeah, we're happy with it. So yeah, my husband kind of watched some of the installation. He's like, yeah, I'm glad we paid someone to do that. I said, yeah, my dad built houses, but he always contracted out the flooring because it's specialized work, and if you're not practiced at it, it can be tough to do. The last thing you want is carpet with wrinkles in it, right? Yeah. In fact, I remember when we were looking at houses, when we were buying our first house, one place we looked at, they had obviously done the carpet themselves, and there was like 6 extra inches of slack that it needed to be, pulled and properly mounted. And they're like, oh yeah, that should be hard to do. But honestly, we're just like, no, we're not looking to move into a place and have to fix the carpet. And I remember after we looked at that house, I was saying to my husband, like, honestly, they should fix that first, because I bet we're not the only ones who just pass on it because of that, even if the rest of the house is nice. Yeah. It's like, I remember my parents put this place they were living in on the market, and the previous owner had been very artsy with it, right? One room was navy blue, and one was purple, and one was green, and we actually quite liked it when we moved in, but a lot of people don't. And then my dad finally said, okay, enough, and he went and he got some paint, and he painted over with a neutral color. House sold a week later. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal, but people don't want to be moving into a house they got to do work in, at least not generally, right? So yeah, or at least that's how I feel. So yeah, I remember we moved in this house, they had one single wall in the kitchen was pumpkin orange, which was just like, wow, really? And they had curtains that had red trim, so it was like this horrible clash, right? And yeah, so I remember my husband just went, okay, I'm painting that one wall before we move in, because I'm going to hate it being that color. So yeah. But yeah, so we got this kind of beige color for our bedroom, and the carpet's kind of this gray with almost like a hint of purple to it, but not really. Yeah, hard to describe, but yeah. We mostly just picked what was on sale and we felt was fairly neutral. So yeah, I'm not wanting to really dark carpets or anything that's gonna really catch your eye. I wanted something neutral, right? So yeah, so very glad that is done. I said, yeah, that's something we've been putting off since we moved in. That carpet was very old and worn when we moved in, 18 years ago. And yeah, it's one of those things where we've been meaning to do forever, but actually doing it is such a pain that, yeah, it always just gets put off for another year, right? Yeah. Because yeah, I always say it's the hardest to do the flooring when you actually live in the house, right? The best is to do it when you're not already living there. You don't have to worry about moving furniture around. That's the easiest. Because yeah, one of my friends, she recently redid her place, but she was living in a apartment rental while they had it done. So it's so much easier. Yeah, when you don't have any, when the house is empty, it's much, much easier to do. I don't think I've ever done this before. Yeah, like my parents never did. We never really did renovations. Well, we never really lived any place long enough to do it. We were always moving. So yeah, this is the first time I've actually lived somewhere long enough. Ooh. So yeah, we have to do the living room and sort of the stairs that go from the top level down to the basement. That hallway has to be done. Yeah, our stairs are lino, and I originally was thinking I'd like to carpet them because for when I slip and fall, because I do that a lot, it's a little softer landing. But then, yeah, after all the price of the rest of the carpet's like, yeah, never mind. I'll just live with it. So, yeah. So we have that to do, and we want to put another bathroom in our basement. We used to have one, but it was terrible. The toilet always clogged. And yeah, they had this tub they put in up on sort of like this platform, but the platform was really rickety, and honestly, I don't know if anybody had ever used it, but I was always afraid to fill that bathtub up with water, that it would like just break right through the little platform they put it on. I wasn't sure it would be strong enough to hold it. So yeah, we never used it. So eventually we want to put sort of just a little corner shower, you know, sink and toilet, bathroom in the downstairs, because right now we have only one shower, which we have lived with for a while, but it can be inconvenient, especially when you have guests staying over, right? Yeah, like when my niece got married a couple months ago, my father-in-law and two of my husband's siblings came to stay with us, and we just have our little ensuite bathroom and then the main bathroom. And so yeah, it was that many people too. Yeah, you know, another 3 adults with only one shower. So yeah, we definitely had to get a schedule so everybody could use it. So okay, so yeah, again, just following these colors, kind of make some interesting shapes. Yeah, we are having a little bit of a smoky day today. Unfortunately, Jasper National Park is on fire, which it's a few hours away, but close enough that the smoke blows to us. Yeah, unfortunately, they said about 1/3 of the structure's burned, and that they're probably going to be fighting that until, you know, the end of wildfire season. So yeah, it's quite sad. It's an absolutely beautiful spot, full of wildlife. You actually have to go fairly slow through there compared to other highway speeds because of all the wildlife. And I remember when we went through there last November, when we were headed back to BC to visit my mother-in-law before she passed away. Yeah, a mountain, or a ram, I think, came trotting up beside the truck. Just, yeah, totally unconcerned that we were there. So I snapped a picture of him as he went by. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're tame, but the wildlife there is not really that concerned about humans because they're used to it. Us, there's so many going through there all the time, yeah. And they get the right of way. Yeah, my mother-in-law loved Jasper National Park. They often liked to go camping there during the summer. Yeah, the only thing that kind of sucked is for most years there was a campfire ban because the forest is just too dry. We don't get enough rain and snowfall anymore, generally, that, yeah, they cannot take the risk, which I say kind of sucks because, you know, that's sort of the best part of camping, isn't it? Your campfire? Yeah. When you can't have one, yeah, it's, can't roast your marshmallows. Yeah. Ooh, pardon me. I am not a big camper myself. Yeah. Yeah, my husband likes it, son likes it, but it's not really my thing. I like to sleep in a real bed, not on an air mattress. Okay, so I'm gonna go hug around this edge that I've created here. Yeah, it kind of sucked. My husband realized after we finished the upstairs bedrooms, he had forgotten to pull the cable for our son's internet connection. So, yeah, they did. drill through the floor and do that. So, like, it's still doable. He does that kind of thing for a living, but yeah, he said it's would have rather done it before the drywall, right? And the painting, rather than having to sort of work around things to try and make it not obvious where you've pulled cable. Yeah, so I'm just gonna sort of build out from here and sort of do this diamond here, and then from there I'll decide sort of what I want to do next. So I'm going to sort of fill this one in. I'll probably start the next one below it. If I have time to get there, we will see. That's all I'm going to get out of this strand. So I won't probably get as high of a stitch count completed this month as, like I said, renovations are still ongoing. But yeah, my husband took a bunch of time off work to do the bedrooms, and now he's got to go back to work. So yeah, it's going to be a little slower going from here on to finish the rest. So we will see. It will get done when it does. But yeah, he kind of said, do you want to finish the living room? But it's like, yeah, we've sort of come this far. Let's get it finished with. Not have it hanging over our heads anymore. Then all we'll have left to do is that bathroom downstairs, which I don't know when that'll happen, but one day. Ooh. Oh, goodness, pardon me. Okay, so I'm going to do all those and then cross them. So yeah, I appreciate y'all, your well wishes and checking up on me. I hadn't posted at my usual time. I think it's very sweet y'all think of me. And I was so excited to hit 5,000 subscribers as well. I'm so honored that y'all enjoy spending time with me. Oh, I didn't do the top one. Silly me, yeah. I started right here for some reason because I can't count. That's all right. I'll do them when I get back up there, but for now, I'll leave them not colored so I don't get mixed up as to what I've done and haven't done. Actually, I'll do that one too. Might as well. So yeah, if you hear some background, that's my kiddo. Yes, he got his wisdom teeth out a week ago. He's doing very well. Yeah, he was really nervous about it. He had never gone under general anesthesia before, so he was really nervous, but he did great. And he has a needle thing. He doesn't like needles, but it was really nice. They gave him some nitrous, so he's like, yeah, I just didn't care then. And then, yeah. I told him, yeah, when they put you under, it'll feel like no time has passed and you just wake up in recovery. And he said, well, I feel like I said, it depends. I had one time I sort of felt the sleepiness take over, but I said the last time it was just like somebody put my lights out and I was like, oh, it's done already? Yeah. 1 second I was listening to the nurses talking in the OR, and the next thing I know, yeah, I'm waking up. And it's done. Yeah, the hardest part is they said he can't have any popcorn or chips for the next 2 months. Yeah, because of the risk of it getting into the empty sockets while they close, and you don't want that, obviously. So, yeah, I 2 whole months. I said, yeah, I don't remember them giving me that instruction when I had mine out, but of course I had mine out like 20 years ago, so things may have changed since. I had mine out under local anesthesia because I also had a fear of going under, and I told people after that, yeah, just go under because it is a horrible sensory experience. I mean, obviously some people will have to if you have a bad reaction to general anesthesia, but they were really good because we warned them because that both my husband and I had a lot of nausea from going under general, so they just gave him a anti-nausea during and he was totally fine. So yeah, that's good. But yeah, I said I had mine out when I was older than you. I think I was 21 or 22. He's 17, but yeah, they said best to get him out before they start actually getting impacted, and the younger you are, the faster you heal, right? So yeah. So yeah, he's pretty much back to eating normal food. Yeah, he didn't have any problem with having difficulty opening his mouth afterwards, because I said I had that for like 2 weeks. I said that was the most annoying thing, was it was hard to eat because it was hard to get food in my mouth because I couldn't open it. But he didn't seem to have that issue, so yeah. Yeah, so I won't get as much sort of stitched in between sessions as I usually do because, yeah, like I said, busy with other stuff, but I'll try to make sessions for you guys on my normal schedule from now on, but yeah, that may or may not happen depending. So yeah, doing all that sort of made me clear out a bunch of stuff. I finally went through my closet. I tried on every piece of clothing I owned, and anything that didn't fit anymore or that I hadn't worn for several years went to donation. Yeah. Yes, unfortunately, most of my pants did not fit anymore. Oh dear. Yeah, I said the dress pants, those hurt because, yeah, they weren't cheap, but they do not fit anymore, and I don't think they ever will again. So time for them to go to someone who can get some use out of them instead of them just taking up space in my closet. So my closet is very nice and organized now. Yeah, went through, found a bunch of stuff. Also, that kiddo is outgrown, so that went too. So, yeah, the local thrift store was very happy because a lot of it was in really good shape. Some of my son's shirts that he had outgrown had never been worn. They got sort of shoved to the back of the closet, and they still had tags on them and everything. I was like, oh, what a waste. But, oh well. Not much I can do about it now. Well, I said one bonus. When I was going through my closet, I found a brand new pair of shorts that did still fit with the tag still on that I'd completely forgotten about. I think it was one of those, they were having either a buy one get one free, or the second one was 50% off, or something like that. And I wore the one pair and just forgot about the second one, so I was like, score. Yeah, that's always nice when that happens. And yeah, like I said, fortunately those do fit, because yeah, that would really suck if I bought them brand new. They sat there and never got worn, and then when I finally find them, I can't wear them anymore. So yeah. It was wild too, just out of curiosity. I still had my old prom dress in my closet, and I tried it on and it still fits. Yeah. I have another though, a Chinese style dress, and yeah, there is no way. I said it barely fit when I bought it 20 years ago, so yeah, it's definitely not going to fit now. And especially because it's silk, so there's no give, right? Yeah, I said I could wear it if I was standing up, but if I tried to sit down, I think it would split open. So, that one I kind of couldn't make myself get rid of though. So I say I got rid of everything that didn't fit except for that. Yeah. And I didn't try on my wedding dress again. Which I know I've had people say I'm not going to hang on to it because I'm not going to use it, but I don't know. It's too much sentimental value, so I'm going to keep it, even though it's like, yeah, I don't have a daughter, so it's not like I can hand that down to daughter. And I mean, I've never heard of a bride wanting to wear her mother-in-law's wedding dress rather than her mother's, so yeah, that's probably not going to happen, but yeah, too much sentimental value. At least for now, I'm hanging on to it. Maybe one day I will donate it. Yeah, it was like the one thing I ever got professionally cleaned and then packed in the special acid-free paper to preserve it. I'm betting it might not fit anymore now either, although like I said, my prom dress did, so. Okay, 101. Oh, look at that. We passed 45%. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I had been hoping to pass that last month, and I hadn't. And I was saying that I would probably finish this pass by the end of August. However, I didn't account for the fact that we're still doing renovations, and so I have less time to devote to it. So yeah, I am no longer guesstimating that. If I do, then excellent, but I don't think that's going to happen because, yeah, I might have time to make a few sessions for you all, but I won't really have much other time in between to keep on stitching like I usually do. So what I get is what I get. So I'll say that by end of September, I should have it. I should have this pass completed. But that's an estimate, not a goal, because I don't like stressing myself out. Oh, look at that. I pierced that one. Yeah, it did not come up correctly. Actually, I think might as well, while I'm here, do those. Yeah, honestly, I think one of the worst parts of renovating was the dust. Yeah, having to move stuff that hadn't been disturbed for a while, it had dust, and I have a allergy to it, so yeah. That is the part I hate the most. Yeah, but I had some clothes, like I said, sitting in my closet for so long, they had actual dust on them, so it was time to let them go to a new home. Silly to just keep hoarding them never using them. That's just a waste to me. So yeah, those ones did not have any sentimental value. So oh, look at that. I'm at 111. Cool. Kind of twisted. There we go. Coax them to lie side by side again. Yeah, I used to railroad, but I kind of fell out of the habit. And I don't know, I discovered that with practice, I guess, I become better at not letting it get twisted in the first place. And when it does, then I just sort of fix the one stitch. But some people swear by it and prefer to do that. Or they use a laying tool. Which I admire the dedication because I don't have it. Okay. So you can see that coming. I think the flowers might be showing up soon in this area. We'll sort of see, but yeah, I'm going to sort of stick with this orange here. So yeah, sort of finish off this one here and sort of probably start the next diamond there. There'll be some lattice. That's sort of the blue and gray, and then back to the orange again. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this whole picture, except for sort of the very top left, which was just sky and not a lot of colors. I found sort of all of it has been interesting to stitch without being too busy. Oh, that was not right. Yeah, I find, especially on 14 count, I can't really fudge it if I come up in not quite the right place. There's more white to show through. I found on 18 sometimes I miss it a little bit, and I guess because the coverage is thicker on 18 with 2 strands versus 14 with 2 strands, I can kind of get away with it. But yeah, on this count I find I can't really fudge it. So yeah, I finished off that diamond. We'll see if I can finish off this one during this session or not. It will depend. There's quite a bit of this color, so that does make it go a little bit faster. Finally bought our son a bigger bed, which we've been saying we would do, but we're still waiting for the mattress to arrive. So yeah, his old mattress is sitting on the new bed frame because they had that in stock, but not the mattress. So yeah, there's like 6 inches on either side extra. Yeah. yeah, unfortunately, I said anything that isn't single or queen, you had to order because not as many people want the double size. So they don't really keep it in stock. But at least, yeah, that meant he was able to get out of the living room and back into his bedroom. And before I know it, it will be time to deal with my apple harvest again. If you haven't been following me for a long time, I have 2 apple trees in my backyard, and they produce a lot of apples that I turn into juice and jam every year. So, yeah, there's one that was original to the house when we bought it, and another that we planted in 2014 because the original one is slowly coming to the end of its life. So we wanted, by the time that it was completely done, we wanted the new one to take over. So, and yeah, it produced nothing for like 7 years, not even the tiniest little bud, and then the next year it started producing full-size apples. So yeah, so I was kind of getting a little nervous because they said 3 to 5 years to produce fruit, and yeah, we had nothing for 7. Yeah, and I actually made some how-to videos about how I make juice and jam, which are on my channel if you're curious to find them. Yeah, I still have, I think, 12 liters of juice left that we will have to either drink up or give away. Yeah. Home canned goods should be used in a year since they don't have any other preservatives in them. Yeah. Unless you freeze them, of course, but yeah. Yeah, and I had 1 jar of juice that came unsealed since I put it on the shelf, but other than that, it's been good. So yeah, pretty much every time we have a friend's invite us over for, you know, dinner or something, we bring a box of bottles, jars of juice. So yeah. Yeah, we had in 2020 the big apple tree produced nothing, and I thought maybe it's done because the year before it had produced like 3,000, and somebody said sometimes right before they die they do a whole bunch. But they said, you know, but see, maybe it'll come back the next year, and it did. So yeah, I'll wait until it produces nothing for like a couple seasons in a row before we finally cut that one down. What's left of it. Yeah, it has slowly been losing parts of it over the years because it's got fungus on it and it rotted the trunk, and then yeah, we had a windstorm and it broke a bunch of it off. So a couple of times it did that. Yeah, I had my neighbor ask me if they could take some apples. I said, well, yeah, the more you take, the fewer I have to deal with, so go ahead. So yeah, she took a basket. But yeah, some people, there was someone saying on Reddit they had, you know, neighbor asked if they could take some blueberries, and they said, oh, sure, and they came back and found that they had completely picked the entire bush. Like, come on, guys, that's That's not cool. Yeah. When somebody says you can have some, you're not supposed to help yourself to the entire crop. Ugh. Just coloring one in there. Yeah, so I won't reach half done until I'm partway through the next pass, but I am very excited to get to there. Yeah, that's going to be probably a few more months. When the stitch count is this high, it can take a very long time to get through 1%. Yeah, and I don't really have any smaller projects planned yet because I did the Majora's Mask before this one, which was less than 50,000 stitches. So yeah, that went really quick. Oh, actually, I'm going to go this way so that I can park right here. Yeah, this thread's going to run out soon, so rather than stretching it right up to the top, I'm just going to sort of use it up in this area here. Yeah, what I may actually do is I might finish this color and I might start working on this diamond here. Just sort of decide when I get there. As per usual, I don't plan too far ahead or I just start to get lost. Or my plan changes. Oh my goodness. Pardon me, yeah. That smoke in the air is making my throat very sore. Like I say, I won't complain too much because we're not close enough to the fires to have to worry about evacuating. So we are more fortunate than a lot of people, but yeah, the smoke is not so great. This and this. Usually I mark what I'm doing before I stitch it. This time I did it after. Yeah, it's just I get lost too easily. Yeah, because I had someone ask, why do you highlight it before rather than after? It's because I'll lose my place. Well, and that's sort of how I used to do it when I worked with highlighter and paper. Highlight what I'm going to do and then stitch it, and I would actually use 2 different color highlighters. So I would highlight in yellow, stitch it, and then after a stitch I would go over it with a different color highlighter. That helped me to stay on track where I was. But yes, I love Pattern Keeper because it does all that for me. Does all the searching and highlighting for me, at least when you have a fully supported pattern. You can do other ones where you can scan it in and it won't, and put a grid on it manually and it won't be searchable, but you can mark stuff off. So, and like what you mark off will just be in flat gray color. It won't be colored in with the DMC colors like this one is. since obviously if it's not searchable, it won't know what color it's supposed to be. But you actually have the option to do that as well on a fully supported pattern. Some people prefer that whatever they stitch to just all be one color. They find it easier to search that way. So it's great. They have all sorts of, she has it set up so that you can see the symbols through the color if you wish or not. And yeah, sort of any way that people prefer it. There's an option for that. It's really nice. Or they said choosing to put all of what you've stitched in a flat gray color can be really helpful if you're stitching cross country and you're trying to find that last stitch of a color. Yeah, that can be really, really useful. This is sort of the first envelope I've had to pull today. Yeah, before that everything was out in my working tray or already attached to my piece. It's pretty rare that that happens. Yeah, so like I said, this just sort of naturally seems to come into this diamond here, so that's what I'm going to do for the moment. Those I think I'm going to unthread because I am not going to be stitching with them for a while, so I might as well just, yeah, set those aside until later so they aren't in my way. Just had one pin stitch to go and it came unthreaded. How irritating. Okay, so yeah, this color here branches off into two directions. So one goes down this way, one goes this way. So I'm going to use separate threads for those. There's a couple of colors I can see are doing that. Oh, is that a snarl? Oh, no, it almost felt like it, but it's not. Okay, good. We do not like snags. So yeah, same thing with this color. One is going to go this way, one is going to go that way. In fact, we're going to have a few going in different directions, I think. Just taking a look here. Yeah, so I'm going to get a shorter piece. This is going to divide a few different ways. It branches off. So I'm going to do those. And then park, and then another thread for the ones further down, I think. So that's the cutoff line there, is line 260. Yeah. Oh, pardon me. Just cross-checking here with my grid lines to make sure I get this right. I had a whole bunch of one color. Oops. Now we're back to a bit more confetti here. You can tell there's more colors here because there's a lot more pin stitches here. Oh, this one was out. Didn't think so, but it was. here's where I'm going to start a new thread to go down the other side, that diamond shape. Goodness. Here we go. I could untangle this, that is. And I think that may be where I take my break. Gotta get some more work done, so. Yeah. A whole bunch here in a row. Yeah, while I didn't have my stitching spot, I actually went and I gridded up a new piece of fabric. That's for my, when I plan to do Thomas Kincaid's Twilight Cottage, but that's going to be ways away. Yeah, because my next project after this one is Deer Creek. And then I'll do Twilight Cottage after that, so. It's a ways away, but I figured since I couldn't do this kind of stitching, it gave me something to do to keep me busy. And yeah, honestly, I don't like gridding. It's a big pain, but I refuse to stitch without a grid, and since I have a bunch of ungridded fabric, it had to be done. Yeah, I'm gonna buy gridded next time. When I bought this fabric, I didn't know that was a thing, so. But yeah, it's a slow process. I find I can do about 5 to 6 of the grid lines an hour. So yeah, you do the math when there's, 57 grid lines one way and 71 grid lines the other way. Yeah, it's a very long, drawn out process. Okay, so there, I might as well just do these two that are right along this edge here before I park this. And you know what? I might just stitch one more because that will take me to a nice even 200. And why not? So you can see this grid line here is kind of moving around a little bit, so you just have to be careful not to let that throw you off, make you make a mistake, because that would be kind of annoying. Ah, yeah, this one planned to be finished and to tie this thread off anyway, so that will be sort of the perfect place to stop for today. Oh, I pulled a little too hard and unthreaded my needle. Yeah, one of the hazards of stitching with shorter pieces, but I like to use up every last bit of thread, so just got to deal with that. So here we go. So woohoo, 200 even. Yeah, it's a nice day's work. So thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you here next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.